What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for the match reaction. Fulham 1, Leeds United 0, man. Chris, that's what happens when you get a high-quality signing. Kevin looks unreal. We were toothless again. We'll get into it. We're going to come across this problem a lot this season. What we've seen in the game so far, we're going to come across a lot this season. And it's something I've said at the start, but we'll wait to get into it. Gutted, man. Gutted. That would have been a real good point on the road, and I think a deserved one. But as I've said, and I'm sure you guys are now feeling, the margins between the Championship and the Premier League completely different. If you don't take a chance or create chances, a Premier League team at some point will punish you. But unfortunately, we punished ourselves today, and it's gutting because the point was there to take. We were so close to taking that point away. Would have been really good going in against Wolves as well. We got to change some things, but I don't know how we do it with the personnel we've got. But we'll get into it, man. We'll get into it. Ian here saying we will score a goal before Christmas. That's tremendous. That's tremendous, man. Yeah, Byron devastated, man. Yeah, gutting. Yeah, and Jazz here. I think you're saying it's going to be tough. Nearly got a point down with toothless, unfortunately. Lee, I've asked this question and no one can answer it. Where are the goals coming from? I've got the same question again for you guys. Who is scoring the goals? Okay, who is scoring the goals? Because we don't look like we're creating anything. I've told you already, this team is very plain yogurt. There's no spice to it. There's nothing to this team. But we're going to have to take some chances at some point, right? We're going to have to, surely. If we're going to survive, if we have any chance of survival, we're going to have to take points. And listen, we'll get into the lineup. We'll get into player performances. There was a lot of good things, though, today. But it's all on the hard work and graft. And unfortunately, you need something else extra in the Premier League. You can't just go with hard work and graft. You need those difference makers. And as you saw when Kevin came on for Fulham, he was tearing us a new one. That's what you get. I saw Bakwa for Forest earlier. Even though Forest lost against Arsenal, you saw the difference that Bakwa made. We don't have anybody that's going to do that. Not one player. Not one. Chris here, he's back on it though. This team succeeds under Nuno. Just saying. Okay. We'll get into that if you want. Daryl here. Too many players that played safe. Daryl, that will be the players, but it will also be under instruction as well. There was a few times where Daniel Farke, and rightly so, by the way, was telling one of our fullbacks to stay back because we don't, unfortunately, have the firepower to really hurt people on the break. We don't, and you know you saw with like Calvert-Lewin today, he is still getting up to full speed, and it was quite obvious today. Mecha is Mecha. I keep saying it about Mecha, but what does this guy do? He's just big for no reason, man. Listen, but that's on recruitment. That's on recruitment, man. So yeah, Ryan here. If Arca says it's a good result, I'll lose it. Yeah, there are things to be happy about with the performance because it's going to have to be what our identity will be throughout the season. But we need goals, people. That's another game without a goal from open play. Another one, if you don't count Goodmanson's, of course. But you know what I mean? John say, what was Goodmanson thinking? I'm not lenient, but own goals sometimes, they're unfortunate, aren't they? No one purposely tries to score an own goal. But yeah, the distance on it, though, was kind of crazy. It's not like it was like 2 yards out. Not quite sure, but that's what it takes. It takes a full 90 minutes plus concentration to get out of games like this with a point. Otherwise, we've been punished. Now, Fulham, now out of nowhere, like an RKO, get their first win of the season. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man. 1-0 to Fulham, and yeah, it's all mad. But Shrewey here saying Aronson just runs about no skill. And the thing is as well, David saying about Goodmanson, he took it well, tremendous. The thing is with Aronson's performance today as well, is that, yeah, it was a lot of running around. And when you've got that, I've said it before, if you're going to pair the combination of starts with Aronson and Longstaff, or even a Harrison as well when he comes on, you've just got people running about people. There's no quality there to make the difference. And Aronson, to be fair to him, was involved with most of our openings today. And that tells you something. He was involved with probably the best parts of us going forward. He created a chance for DCL, which I think would have been offside anyway in the first half. But then he was on the end of another one that Stat created. Aronson was literally probably one of our most creative players today. That tells you a lot. That tells you an awful lot. Yaz here saying it's too hard to watch. Yeah, it's been rough, hasn't it, this season? But we knew this. And we talked about this at the start of the season. We knew that this season was going to be rough. It was going to be a tough watch at times, and that is proving the point. But when you're coming out of the games with a point, like we did against Newcastle, you accept it. Today wasn't the same. We should have come out with a point, but we didn't, did we, people? Let me just say a big thank you as well, first, before we go any further, to donators on the channel yesterday. Thank you for the support, by the way. Ryan Gadd, Mark Holmes, Mr. P, Count Bishops, Dave Webster, Genghis Khan, Wilf, and Parrot House. Thank you for the support. Let's keep it going. Thank you for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And thank you to someone became a member today. So big up to you as well. Thank you for the support. Let's keep it going, people. Yeah, Matt saying here, undeserved loss. Yeah, it's all about the thing in regards to what you deserve. At the end of the day, it is unfortunate we lost today because we didn't deserve to lose. I actually thought we looked the better team for large parts of the game, but it was without purpose, though. That's the thing for me. It was all about keeping the ball moving from side to side most of the time. Very few forward passes to my liking. And I want to get into who some of you guys thought was good today. I'm interested. Martin saying it's going to be a tough season. It is. JTEX as well, playing for a 0-0 is a dangerous game. You're not wrong. Hisham, what does Okafor bring that Ramazani doesn't? We'll get into it. Captain Elwood, Captain Elwood saying can't survive like this, relying on steely defense and a stroke of luck up top. No, we can't. Yeah, Ernie, you're not wrong. As soon as Kevin came on, he cooked us. He was the difference maker today, and it was quite clear. I mean, he almost scored himself. Thought Darlow handled himself pretty well today as well. But yeah, once that's the difference in this division. It really is. Much like when we're the best team in the championship and we can bring on Ramazani for Solomon and everything else like that. That's what we're up against now in the Premier League, where Fulham are looking at their bench going, all right, Harry Wilson, the storyline didn't run. Off you come, somebody else comes on of more quality. Emil Smith-Rowe came on for them today. I don't think Anthony Robinson even touched the pitch today, but that's the difference. That's the kind of difference we're playing with, and especially with how we've recruited this summer. Bogle was great again. Yeah, I like Bogle as well. Again, I think he had another solid game today, Jaden Bogle. Like he wasn't the only one, but there was a few times when we're going forward, and it's probably been the same thing over the section of games we've had, where if we just cross the ball in a bit quicker, maybe we could catch the defense off guard. But everyone likes to take 1, 2, 3 touches before they release the ball. That's got to be something we improve with as well, to give the strikers some service. And listen, yeah, if we had quality, we could have finished them off in the first half. That's what I've been saying. No, that's what I was saying when the window was open the game. It's hard not to harp on about the window in situations like this, but it's clear to see the solid base is there, the midfield work rate is there, but it's that quality at the final third that you need, that gets you out of these kind of games where that 0-0 turns into a 1-0 to us. That's the difference in terms of how we've recruited. Yeah, Yusuf as well. We struggled with Smith-Rowe when he came on. Yeah, and Ayub here saying it's all on recruitment. Absolutely is. Mr. P with a super chat. Thank you, Mr. P. I had to listen to the match, and we seem to have a good game. Just missing that magic of a creative player or a finisher at the business end. It pretty much was that, Mr. P. Because, like I say, there was a lot of good things to enjoy today from the performance, in terms of the work rate, in terms of the makeup of this team. There was a lot of hard-working players there, but that's only going to get you so far, people. Another non-outing for Biol as well. We're going to have to speak about Dan James, because he did go off today, and it looks like it's going to be a groin situation. Has he teetered into injury-prone? Has Dan James now teetered into the injury-prone category? Because he's getting hurt. He's been hurt quite a lot over the past, I would say, year to 18 months. He seems to be going off or going away with from international break and coming back hurt a little bit. You know, we got subbed on and subbed off. I've told you before yesterday, storylines, people, that wasn't the storyline I was looking for. A sub on and sub off. Shrui, how is Harrison getting on before Nanto? Nanto today was last resort, wasn't he? He only came on because Dan James had to come off, and this is where it doesn't just go on recruitment. It does, because these are the options that we've got. But when Farker has these kind of things at his disposal and he's putting on Nanto behind Harrison, that's an issue for me. That's an issue. Hyru here, Dan James wanted in on the fetish of this club. That's tremendous. You know they've got it. You know they've got it. Leeds is saying here, hard work and picking up 0 points doesn't help us survive. We need game changers. Yeah, well, this is what we've got. This is what we've got until at least January, and probably beyond that. Keep your expectations low after the summer window. We've heard. Vega saying here, must be perfect to scrape a draw. Harsh. Yeah, you have to. This is the levels. These are the margins. We've literally could have come away from here with a really, really good point. Really good point away. And you could hear it. There was no atmosphere today from Fulham. They were very quiet. They were on edge because they hadn't won before this game, and we could have utilized that to our advantage. But we just don't have enough up front. Darren, who's Stacey? Stacey looks exhausted already. I don't know. You've probably mistyped that. Let me know who you think who looks exhausted, man. Okay. Cloud Dizzle here saying that's football though, or Leeds anyway. Yeah, it's football. It is football, man. AJ here saying, KG, this will be a long season. Signs of a bottom three side. Play reasonably well, solid and hard. No end product. Leeds error. Walk away with nothing. Small margins. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, and that's fair as well, Nick. Oh, okay, yeah, he probably does mean stack. You're right, Ian. Nick here saying that goal's coming all second half. In the last 20, there was only one team that was going to score. I kind of agree with that. Once Fulham made the changes, it was pretty much done, was it? But yeah, it is disappointing to lose the point. I'm very, very disappointed to not come away. It would have been nice to be talking about this being a workmanlike performance and scraping a point, but it not working all season. But this is a harsh lesson to learn that this is not going to work all season. And I've said, I don't think we're going to get beat heavily in a lot of games, but we are going to come away with some of these games where once the opposition score, this is what I was thinking when I was watching the game, people. And this is for me looking at this game and games going forward. If we do fall behind in more games, who's scoring the goals to get us back? And listen, guys, I need you guys to help me. I need you to give me the answers, because I don't know who is scoring the goals. I'm genuinely putting that question out to you. So give it to me in the comments after this video is done as well, because I don't know. I don't know. If the opponent scores, we fold. I mean, there was only a couple minutes left, Darren. So I mean, that is hash, but I know what you're saying. Martin saying here, I'm sorry, this is the blueprint. We got no game changers. Man said nobody. Someone said nobody. AJ saying we need 2 strikers up top. We're not doing that, AJ. We're not doing that because we didn't do it in the championship when we really could have put 2 up front. I mean, Peru and Joseph, I think as a duo would have worked really well. We're definitely not doing it in the Premier League, where we need more bodies to make sure our midfield is compact and defense is solid. And yeah, we're not putting 2 up front, AJ. So get that one out of your head, unfortunately, right? So yeah, no one's got any goals, no one's scoring goals, no one. Michael is saying we can't recover if we don't score first. Team is totally sterile, like they're all on birth control. That's tremendous. Paul, that's what we've got though. Meat and potatoes. That's what we got. Plain yogurt, meat and potatoes. That's what this team is, and that's why it's going to be difficult for us. But look, yeah, again, what I will say is no be-all again. So it was obvious to me that he was going to go with Roden Strauch. I guess the one inclusion that was shocking was Aronson over Nanto. Not sure how Nanto, who was our most dangerous player against Newcastle, not only went to the bench, but was the last sub to come on. So I think if DJ doesn't get injured, I don't think we see Nanto today. Clearly, Tanaka wasn't ready for this game, but it was another case of, get on the bench and come down with the lads like Okafor did in the Newcastle game where he wasn't fit. But yeah, Aronson starting these kind of games, it's an issue. But he wasn't bad today. But the overall presentation of it is, how is Aronson getting in over Nanto for me at this point? Not saying that Nonto is the be all and end all, because he's not, but I thought it was very unlucky for him to drop to the bench, unless there's something wrong with him, of course. And I guess we'll hear and we'll get into that tomorrow in the cool down. But yeah, it's the front three: Aronson, Okafor, Calvert-Lewin. Eh, eh. We were AFV saying we were screaming out for quality up top. We're going to be screaming out for it all season because, what should we say? Okafor. Let's go with that. Let's go with that, because a couple of you are saying about both our wingers were crap. I'm certainly not going to be, putting my cape on for the wingers today, because primarily their job is to create, and there was more defensive actions by both Okafor and Aronson than there was creativity. Now, that will suit Daniel Farker and what we need to do in order to grind out results, hopefully over the long term. But for me, I'm sorry, I'm never going to subscribe to the theory that a wingers had a good game because defensively they were sound. I don't care about that. You've got to be going forward and giving us something. And Okafor, there was a couple of runs today. But guys, I'm asking you, did Okafor look any different to Nonto or even Ramazani today on the basis of what you see? Now, again, we've got another one like him that is getting into match fitness, so he's not completely fit at this point. But he doesn't look like he's going to be the X factor. And yeah, Matt, there's no crosses for DCL. Brendan is not really going to create anything ever. And again, it's not just Brendan, people, it's Noah as well. Even the times that he did manage to run past somebody, because again, he was going backwards quite a bit in the first half. I see people that are saying that Okafor had a good first half. For me, that's not a good performance from a winger, for me anyway. So we'll agree to disagree on that. But again, where was the crosses for DCL? The one opportunity that he had was a Brendan Aronson hook back, and again, I think it was offside. But where's the service? And then when Metcha comes on and he's not getting any service, he just looks like a big lump up front. He's not really doing anything. Especially when you talk about a pairing of Bassi and Anderson, it looked really light today. Lewis, I feel we are cooked. I know. Yusuf, yeah. And again, Bogle was that one. And Yusuf saying here, why is our right back the only one willing to take players on? No idea. Okafor did try a little bit more in the second half. I will give him that. But again, it's not just the dribbling action. It's the final action. That's the most important bit. It's the final ball. By the way, set pieces again today. Goodmanson, not really good from the corners. Got to say that. And I know that people are looking forward to Goodmanson taking a few more set pieces today, but he wasn't really good. But we don't have a designated set piece taker, and that's another hindrance to this team as well. Yeah, Noel saying here, I think this is regarding Okafor. Yeah, Noel, at least he was taking people on, not just passing backwards all match. Yeah, not all match, but in the first half, he was doing it a little bit. Martin saying, lose against Wolves, big worries. We'll get into that next week. We'll get into that. And Tykin Perth just saying, Leeds are not cooked. Look at the table. It's early days. Let's go. El Toro Blanco saying here, 0 goals from open playing 4 matches. Shipping coming. Well, here we are. But Mike here, I mean, Mike's a passion merchant that comes here. But look, if we got the draw, we would be on a different page here. But Mike, if buts and maybes, we didn't get the draw. And you're right, Mike, you are. But these are the margins that we haven't been set up for with the window that we've had. If Mike, if we want to go with your if game, if we had a Kevin coming on the pitch today, we probably win, but we don't. So the if really doesn't matter. But I get what you're saying, because it would have been a really good point, but we didn't get it in the end. Liverbird, happy birthday to you anyway, but I'm sorry about that. Jazz here saying maybe a few more games to gel in some way with what we've got. I don't think there's much gelling, Jazz. The game that we're playing is a very simple one. There's no difficulty with what we're doing. It's about being solid. It's about getting back into shape, and we've done that in 3 out of the 4 games, even with this one. The only one is the outline, which is Arsenal, but and not including Sheffield Wednesday nursery either. We've been pretty compact and solid. There's really not much to add to this kind of game. The final bit of the connector is the final third, and there is no urgency to get the ball to the striker. There's no urgency to get DCL more into the game or Metcha when he comes on. Peru wasn't on the pitch in the team sheet today, so I do wonder if his injury may be a little, not long term, but we'll see if what Farker says in regards to him, because he didn't even make the bench today. Matt here saying fine margins, ain't it? Exactly. Last 20 we were being pushed back. We were just hoping to grind and stay in games. Yeah, that's what it is at the moment. Jack. A little bit of levity for these Saturday evening people in defeat. Gotta have a little bit of levity. If we had a Kevin, Farker would have sent him on loan for disrespecting the opposition. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Andy here saying expect Longstaff's heat map tomorrow. Longstaff, see, you guys know I'm not into the signing, but for what he does, it was fine. But again, it's just hard work with very little. I know he had the shot that hit the top of the bar, but there's loads of these players here that will run around, do the hard work, the dirty work, and everything else like that. But I ask you, who is going to create and who is going to score goals? People, I need the answers. Help me. I can't help you. Help me. All right. JTech saying Longstaff is useful if you want to play for a 0-0. Yeah. And the thing is as well, once Tanaka's back, he's going to drop to the bench. Stack today, mixed bag from Stack. I got to say, I know he created the chance for Aronson, but very sloppy, man. And that early yellow card in the first half did not help. But yeah, for me, we need the Stack, Ampadu, and Tanaka midfield back. Ampadu as well, by the way, I will say this. With Ampadu, it's great to have him back. He makes a huge difference, and there was a few instances in the first half where his clearance and his reading of the game really helped us out as well. He cut off a pass, I think, that Josh King had created or was on the end of. Brilliant interception, and from Harry Wilson's free kick in the first half. I know the ball went straight in the air, but if he's not there, that's a really dangerous free kick. And he makes all the difference, man. So I want to give Ampadu his flowers because when he's not there, we miss him dearly. So it's really good to have the captain back in there. Did anyone think as well when Harry Wilson stepped up for that free kick in the second half before he got subbed off? I thought storylines, but again, Darlow did really well with the save there. Nabino, let's have a look. 14th in the table. Yeah, we'll get the table up in a bit. Julian here saying our only shooter is Nanto and Farker doesn't fancy me. It was odd for me for him to get dropped out of all our attackers. He literally is our most dangerous one that we've had so far in open play. Debbie here saying here, great to see Ampadu back, watching from Perth, Australia. Love your show, KG. Thank you for showing up and watching, man. I appreciate you. Anyone bets we give Wolves their first win? We'll speak about that next week. We can't do that now. Can't do that. Can we finish the season now? No, we can't, man. Unfortunately, we can't. Captain Elwood saying here, makes next week feel like a must win now. We've got to get some confidence going. Yeah, that would have knocked the stuffing out of him today. But also, it's like I said in the preview as well, it was important to at least try and get an open play goal, because as the games tick on, you do start, it will start to go into their minds, who's going to get the first open play goal at our end, not Goodmanson as an own goal. These kind of things do linger on, but yeah, look. JTEX here talking of storylines. Didn't look like Muniz was worth 50 million either. Yeah, had a real good chance to score, didn't he? But he headed it straight at Darlow when he really should have put it in the other corner. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Mark here saying, keep up the good work, AG. We respect your calm approach. You predicted exactly this kind of match result. Yeah. I did say 1-1, in all fairness. I did get that one wrong. I said either 2-0 to Fulham or 1-1 draw. Yeah, I didn't get it right. But yeah, you can kind of see with the makeup of the team how our games are going to be. It doesn't really take a genius to work it out, does it? David saying here, if we can't score, a must draw. Yeah, a must draw. Did anyone else's performances stand out for you today in terms of impressed you or you weren't really impressed with? Let's move to the subs. Yeah, gotta say as well, yeah, Harrison coming on first, that's a problem for me. That is an issue for me. You shouldn't be, Harrison, Aronson shouldn't, and Longstaff. It's all too much of the same for me. It's all running about with no tech. That's an issue for me. You can't have Harrison coming on before Nanto, and I do want to know what happened there. Darlow was good. He was. Bogo was quality as usual. Absolutely. Cats Bros is saying, DCL, how much are Leeds paying him? Wow. For one, I'll be glad to see the back of him. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Roden was good, to be fair. I thought Joe Roden was solid. Yeah, there may have been a few aerial challenges he didn't always get, but again, I thought Roden was good again. I do. I think Roden, much like Bogle, has been very, very consistent with his performances so far. Yeah, thought the defense was good. Ampadu, yeah, giving him his flowers. We miss Ampadu when he's not in there. That's why it was so weird for me when people in the summer were thinking that Ampadu was going to be the one to drop out. But he's one of those players where when he doesn't play, people appreciate him more. But when he plays, people just think, it's just Ampadu. Nah, man, he's been really, really good. And yeah, long may it continue, man. Chatek saying, I bet we had a better XG than Fulham Mafaka victory. Ben saying Strout played well today. Yeah. Yeah. Captain Elwood saying, can we talk about Stack? Was great against Everton, not been seen since. Yeah. I said it. I'm kind of touched on him early with Stack. It was a mixed bag for me. I think that the early booking didn't help him, but it was his own fault for the tackle he made. But again, yeah, you're right. Since the Everton game where he looked like he was going to be the ultimate two-way player, it's been a little bit of a mixed one for me with Anton. But I do think the quality is there with him. But maybe when Tanaka comes back, he can do the more natural role. Because with Longstaff in there, you are looking at a more. He's not an 8 for me. Longstaff isn't creative enough. He hasn't got enough in his locker to be an 8. He's got to be like a hybrid 6/8 for me. But if you get Tanaka and Ampadu back in there, maybe that unleashes Stack a little bit more and he can get forward just that little bit more than he can possibly do now. But again, I think the quality is there with Stack. But yeah, we would like to see more on that Everton level than what we've seen lately. AFV saying here, even if the whole team play well, it counts for nothing with 0 points. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm just trying to look out in terms of what was good up until the own goal, because if we had escaped with a point, like Mike Katz said earlier, I think we'd be speaking a little bit different. But these are the margins that are the difference between staying up or going down, isn't it? So, shall we have a look at some other results today? And if we get back into it, I don't know if there's anything else to say. Bournemouth beat Brighton. Yeah, that's not going to affect us. Everton 0-0 with Villa, but more importantly, Wolves still winless, which is good. No win for them. So let's keep that the same next weekend, please. Okay, let's keep that the same. We've gifted Fulham their first win. They will now jump above us in the table. We can't give Wolves their first win next week because for me, it is between us and Wolves for maybe that final spot overall. What else have we got? Sunderland getting a point away at Palace. That's a good result, and why I think Sunderland will be fine this season. That's a really good point away at Crystal Palace. What else have we got? Yeah, Spurs, West Ham, Brentford, and Chelsea today. Brentford we'll look out for because I think they affect us, and of course, Burnley play Liverpool tomorrow. That leaves us in the table at this point in time, people, in 14th. Stop the season, please. Stop the season. But yeah, Wolves 4 losses out of 4. Villa still winless as well. They drew with Everton. Yeah, man, a point would have been so nice today, people. Because now what that was done is Fulham have now jumped above us in the table. They're up on 5 points. Yeah, that point would have been precious. That's the difference, man. Those are the margins. What are we saying there? What are we going to say about? Let's wrap up with Farke. What are people saying in regards to Farke's approach to the game? Which I didn't mind. I will say that here. I understand with the makeup of the team. Again, this is what we're working with, people. So I'm not expecting us to go gung ho with our attacking style. But there are some things that I think he should do better in terms of his changes. And Harrison getting on the pitch before Nanto, yeah. Shrui here, did Farke do any strategic changes? It was more about keeping it compact, Shrui. Like I say, I did notice a few times. Don't know what you guys watching it. I was watching it via USA Network over here in England. But I did notice him a few times telling players to stay compact and our fullbacks especially to stay back. I noticed that. And he was absolutely right to do so. Man said he's useless. Fair enough. Okay. John saying Farke equals we're going straight back down. David saying Farke working with what he has. Sub's not good though. Yeah. And I've said this more. I've said this already, people. There's only so much you can blame Farke for, but when it comes to tactical changes like this, when I'm talking like Nanto not getting on the pitch before Harrison, that will be on him. That is on his. Those are his choices in what he's got. You can't excuse that. But I thought overall his game plan was working pretty well up until the own goal, of course. Richard here saying Farke served the team well in the first half, but let us down with the usual bad substitution. That is fair. Oh God, Darren saying here, if we lose to Wolves, Farke out. Well, I said this in the video before the preview. I think we need 4 points from these next 4 games. Now we haven't picked up the point I thought we would have at least got here at Fulham. So now that does put pressure on the Wolves game for me, because the game after Wolves, people, is Bournemouth at home and Spurs at home. If we can get anything out of those two, awesome. But it's got to be Wolves next week. It does put the pressure on Wolves next week to pick up, for me, the 3 points. Chris not stopping with this one. Nuno would get the very best out of this team and keep us up. Farke doesn't have that in him. Martin saying we've got blunt tools up front. Yeah, that's on Farke and recruitment. Just for what they brought in over the summer, the fact that they were all chasing Calvert-Lewin, Mecha coming in as our first signing of the summer, which was yeah. Don't get me started on that, but yeah, this is what we've got. This is what we've got, people. It's Mecha. Peru's obviously out injured. We'll see how long. Hopefully not for long. But it's Mecha, Peru, and DCL. Those are our strikers, people. Yeah. Paul here saying, yeah, massive risk not buying a decent centre forward. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nick here saying here, Nuno, very good Prem manager. Farke equals great Championship manager. Chris, when is the next international break? AFV saying here, moving the chairs on the Titanic didn't help. Have we got anything else, people? Because I think we're almost done. But like I say, come back tomorrow. We'll do the cool down. We'll get into Farke's quotes and additional thoughts that we may have had on the game that we may have missed today. So we'll get into that. KLM saying here, Farke needs to leave by Christmas. Well, that's a different buy, but yeah, by Christmas, please. Got you. Genghis Khan here. It's a great point, Genghis Khan. Everyone knows Nonto and Bogle are good together except Farke. Yeah, that's it for me as well. In terms of if you're gonna drop Dan James, like I say, I would have started James, even though he's been poor so far, for pure storyline reasons. Because I do believe in players playing, going up a couple of levels against their former clubs. But if you're gonna drop Dan James, put Nonto on the right with Bogle. Just do that. That's what I mean. Those are the things that kind of baffle me. And then he's putting Aronson and then putting Harrison again as a first sub before Nonto. It doesn't make sense to me. But like Nick says here, give KG a like. Yeah, please do that. If you haven't liked it already, like I say, it helps in the algorithm. It's free to do. Please like the video, people. Nabino Metro is terrible. Yeah, I did say that. I want to be proven wrong when I say that I don't think players are very good. I just don't see what he offers people. People were talking about his hold-up play against Newcastle. The guy was falling over every time he got touched. He got fouled a couple of times, but he was literally looking for it every time. And that's not going to do it in the Prem. You're not going to do it. Yeah, hit the likes. Lewis also saying, give me Nuno. Yeah, he'll get snapped up soon, for sure. He will. David here saying, cheers, KG, good stream. Thank you for that, David. But yeah, I think we're done. And SB, good point again in regards to our strikers. Which centre forward could have scored with the scraps we created today? Yeah, no creativity. Just hard work, people. Hard work and grit. That's what this team is. It's just pure hard work. And unfortunately, that's not going to get the job done over a 38-game Premier League season. It's not. Yeah. Strange decision. I guess we'll end it here. Strange decision in the transfer window. Strange decision by Farke. I don't think we can go on anymore, right? I don't think so. But yeah, people, what else have we got? Is there anything else that I need to cover? No shots. Yeah, fine. Very little creativity. Got that. Yeah. There we are. Chris saying here, I'm more than done, KG. Time to cook steak. Yeah, I think we're done for today, people. So, like I say, I will be back tomorrow, people, with the cool down. We'll get into Farke's comments and dissect those. We'll get into any other points that we may have missed today. But yeah, and there's also this Nuno won't even come here. Yeah, there's a point. That's a point. There's always that thing where will another manager really want to come here? But unfortunately, this is the dirty part of the game. That's how you sound them out before you sack somebody. That's how Forest got in Ange on pretty much the same day they sacked Nuno. You talk to him before. It's not legal, but everybody does it, so you're gonna have to do it. Don't leave us in a situation. If you let somebody go, we're scrapping around for a manager for about a month, was it, when we had Skubala? Don't do that again. But listen, people, tough loss today. Tough loss, but them are the margins, people. That's the margins. When Fulham can bring on a Kevin, Leeds United bring on a Harrison. Those are the margins in the Premier League. And it's not going to be the last time it happens this season, but we've got to do more going forward. Our strikers cannot be feeding off scraps all season. That has to improve. Fulham take the win today, 1-0. Leeds will go 14th in the table. Listen, we'll come back tomorrow and digest a little bit more of what Farkas says. Please like the video before you go, people. And if you haven't subscribed already, if you want to subscribe, I will see you soon, people. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.